Well, there's actually a lot to unpack, Will, both from the Moldovan president and from the U.S. Secretary of State. So essentially, the message from the Moldovan authorities is that they need financial help very urgently. They've had a lot of Ukrainian refugees already that have come in.
Saying 250,000 have passed through the country already.
200. The figure I saw from the Moldovan foreign minister, which was a day or two ago, was 237,000. So out of a population of 2.6 million, that's a little bit under 10% of the equivalent of just under 10% of the whole population of the actual country of Moldova. It would be like having millions of refugees in France, because obviously it's a small population, Moldova. As we heard in that press conference, they haven't all stayed on Moldovan territory. Some have transited to other destinations.
But it does seem about half of them are remaining.
Yeah, I think 113,000 currently on Moldova. Still, as I said, that would be an absolutely colossal amount of refugees if you think of population density to refugee ratio in France. It would be millions, all the same, even with 113,000. So what the Moldovan authorities are saying, they're running out of options to provide shelter, and they need equipment, financial aid, help for relocation of refugees as well. So the EU has already offered some assistance. Josep Borrell, the foreign policy chief of the EU, spoke about a package of 15 million euros. I think I'm right in saying. But clearly they're saying that they need more. A very interesting thing that was mentioned just at the end of this press conference, we were leaving it, was Moldova's desire to join the European Union. That's part of a broader trend. We've also seen Ukraine and Georgia both say that they want to join the European Union as a way of kind of sheltering under this European umbrella.
Antony Blinken saying he supports Moldova's ambitions to that end.
Right. I mean, obviously it's not up to the US. It will be up to the EU to decide. But where the US comes in, this is what the Moldovan president said, is that she was saying that Moldova wants to join the EU and that the US could perhaps help Moldova to achieve that goal by helping Moldova to become energy independent. Of course, from the EU's point of view, they really have to think through what are the implications of letting in countries that are, have frankly a lower standard of living than many European countries, and also the whole question of, if they were to admit countries that have been fragilized by the Ukrainian conflict financially in a more precarious situation like Moldova, not to mention Ukraine itself. I mean, who knows how easy it would be to actually admit Ukraine. I would think not easy at all. So these are very big sort of geopolitical questions that the EU will have to grapple with. Just one final point, Will. Antony Blinken also mentioned the Transnistrian conflict. There's a territory in Moldova that is a breakaway territory. It is controlled by de facto separatists who have been asking, or at least some of them have been asking Moscow to recognize their independence. And the big concern among the sort of pro-European elites in Moldova, if you will, is that this is a prelude to the same sort of scenario that unfolded in eastern Ukraine, without wanting to over-dramatize. But clearly what they see, and they've spoken about this, is an attempt to create Russian recognition of something akin to the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic. Moldova, because of that, feels very vulnerable now. I mean, the government feels very, very vulnerable because it's not in the EU, it's not in NATO. So if there was a Ukraine-style scenario that unfolded with an attempt to get the separatist area recognized the way that's happened in the Donbass, then Moldova would not be able to fall back on much support, given that it is not in these Western security or economic structures. And that is why the Moldovan president was talking about joining. That's one of the reasons why the Moldovan president there was talking about trying to get Moldova to join the European Union.